The story of the vile crow and the wise hermit. In a dense, tranquil forest, there lived a wise hermit named Raghunath. He was known far and wide for his deep understanding of the world, his commitment to truth, and his unwavering discipline in meditation. One day, a traveler, a man burdened by his own doubts and confusion, entered the hermit's humble ashram. He sought guidance, hoping to find answers to the suffering he had experienced in life. "Master," the traveler asked, "I have seen many things in my life, and I have met many people, but one thing that confuses me is the concept of purity. Who among us is truly pure? Is it the ascetic who spends his days in devotion, or perhaps those who live by moral codes?" Raghunath smiled kindly, his eyes reflecting the depth of his knowledge. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "The tale of the crow and the dog." In a small village surrounded by hills, there was a crow that was known to be vile and wicked. He would steal food from the fields, annoy the farmers, and create chaos among the people. The villagers despised the crow, for he seemed to have no purpose other than to spread misery wherever he went. Not far from the village lived a dog. While the dog was loyal and faithful to his owner, he had a tendency to bark at anyone who approached. Though he was not vicious, his behavior often caused disturbances. Despite his loyalty, the dog was seen as a nuisance by the villagers, who complained about the constant barking. One day, the crow and the dog found themselves in the same field. The dog barked loudly, and the crow cawed in annoyance. Their quarrel escalated, and they began to argue bitterly. The wise old owl, who had been watching from a tree, approached them. "Why do you fight, you two?" the owl asked. "Neither of you can bring peace to the land with such behavior." The crow responded, "The dog is a fool, barking at everything in sight. He disturbs the peace." The dog replied, "The crow is worse. He steals from the farmers and causes harm to others. He does nothing but spread negativity." The owl, with a calm expression, turned to them and said, "Among birds, the crow is vile, among beasts, the dog is the nuisance. But you both are not as vile as a man who lives in sin but still calls himself righteous." The crow and the dog were silenced. They looked at each other and then at the wise owl, who continued, "There is another type of being who is the worst of all. He is the ascetic who, despite his outward appearance of devotion, carries within him the weight of his sins. His actions are false, and his mind is filled with pride. But worst of all is the one who speaks ill of others, who blasphemes and insults those who are pure at heart. He is the lowest of all, the true Chandala, the one who destroys peace with his words and deeds." As the story ended, Raghunath looked at the traveler and explained, "The crow and the dog represent the vices of ignorance and disturbance, but the real danger lies in those who, while outwardly pious, harm others with their words. The one who blasphemes and condemns others, thinking himself superior, is the worst of all. He poisons the minds of others, corrupts the pure, and brings about discord." The traveler, deeply moved, realized the truth of Raghunath's words. He understood that true purity comes not from outward actions alone but from the purity of thought, word, and deed. The hermit had shown him that righteousness is not in the appearance of holiness but in the heart and how one treats others. Moral of the story: among birds, the crow is vile, among beasts, the dog. The ascetic whose sins are hidden is abominable, but he who blasphemes others is the worst Chandala. The worst harm is done by those who, while appearing virtuous, speak ill of others and sow discord in society. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.